1944, the long-awaited invasion of France took place. The landing of the Allied forces onto the beaches of Normandy had been planned since the U.S. entered the war. It's no surprise troops trained long and hard for the invasion. What many may not know is hundreds of thousands trained here on the Gulf Coast at Camp Gordon Johnston in Carabel.
At Camp Gordon Johnston, they received painstaking instruction in a new technique, amphibious assault.
By the time they left, they were ready for where we sent them.
Camp Gordon Johnston was an amphibious training base during World War II. It was the second largest one in the state of Florida. The post consisted of 165,000 acres, 155,000 of them leased from individuals and from the St. Joe Paper Company.
It consumed most of Franklin County. If you had come during the war, there would have been a gate at the Ochlockonee Bay, the Ochlockonee River, and the Carabel River. And then once you got on the other side of the Carabel River, the land would have been barricaded off so that you could travel 98, but you couldn't get off onto the camp itself.
Carabel was chosen as a training site for a variety of reasons, including the fact that it had 20 miles of beach area.
And this was the area that they found that had both of these requirements, the beach and all of the back area as well, for the other types of training that these soldiers had to go through.
And the training was tough.
This was used as punishment. If you don't buckle down and do what you're supposed to, we're going to ship you out and send you down to Camp Gordon Johnston, and they'll straighten you out. Because it was, of all of the amphibious training bases, it probably was the most horrendous training.
While the camp trained about 250,000 people, the 28th Division and the 4th Division were trained specifically for D-Day, using both live and dummy ammunition, so it wasn't their first time under live fire.
If you read one of our quotes that's in one of our rooms, he said, had you given us the choice of D-Day or training here, I believe I'd have taken the Germans, because the training here was so bad. But Omar Bradley said that these were probably the best trained troops that we sent overseas because they had already been exposed to absolutely everything.
Much had been given to the 4th Division in preparation. Now much would be asked.
Men were not the only ones trained at Camp Gordon Johnston. So were female nurses.
Many of the nurses that went in on the D-Day invasion had actually trained at this camp. One of the women that went in on this invasion said that by the time they hit the beach and they went in a landing craft, just like the men did, she said by the time they got to the beach, there were wounded men everywhere. Very brave women to do that, to go in under those conditions.
Shortly after the war, Camp Gordon Johnston closed, but the pictures, artifacts, and memories remain.